Sugar fire. Woohoo! Here comes sound in.
This is how I roll.
1, 2, 3. And we have sound, gentlemen.
Hello, everyone.
Wow.
It's great to be back.
You kicked butt on that Christmas show. That was so much fun. I'm so glad to have you here tonight. Joshua, I missed you, buddy.
All right, let's do this.
All right, I'll monitor sound. Gentlemen.
Yeah.
We are going to have some fun tonight. Where's my microphone?
You had a microphone? Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Rock and roll. Mike Buddy. Sugar Fire. I can't wait to see how I open this show. We have no cameraman tonight. In fact, we have no audience. It's dark back there, but we do have a moon coming out tonight that's going to be an eclipse.
Yes.
Yeah, now you got to supply the B-roll.
With that said, Mike, give me a countdown and let's launch into 195.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics, with over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock, your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Additional support is provided by Oak Hill Model Railroad Track Supply. Check them out. Their website is ohrtracksupply.com. Thank you very much, Jeff Otto, for your support. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week show in model railroading, show number 195 for May 15th, Sunday, 2022. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, and I literally just got June uploaded and rendered. Jeff, you're going to be happy about this, 5 minutes ago. That show is done and out. It was an amazing battle to get the June show out, but there's a lot of great content in there.
It was touch and go for just a minute there.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea. But anyway, we cover 3D printing in this show with that wonderful Viper printer that we got from GNL Robotics, GNLRoboticsUSA.com. Thank you, Greg Summerlin, for that. I was printing some owls, and it came out to be a really good edit in that we show from start to finish how to unbox it with James Regier helping.
Yep.
And we show the entire process of printing what's already on the chip. Now, what we haven't done yet is printed something that's applicable to our hobby, which I look forward to doing in a future episode after James shares with me how to do that conversion program. What's it called?
All right. What was the slicer? It's a slicer. I don't know the particular one for that computer, but it's easily downloadable.
I know I cut you off guard on that question.
Yeah.
I don't know how to beat last week's show with Holly on board. That was so much fun sitting next to her. She did a great job. Thank you very much. My new favorite rail fan in life. Life is amazing. But with me tonight, I've got my favorite people. Starting on this side, I've got Mike Buddy. Hey, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
It's good to have you tonight.
Thank
and you will not disappoint with Mustangs. Sitting right next to me, and I can't wait to do this introduction. I got Sugar Fire, Joshua Barton.
What's up, everybody? It's good to be back.
My God, this is a fun show to do. And sitting right next to, I've got my favorite, James Regier, who's going to talk about 3D printing. I have a feeling
everybody.
tonight. Hey, James. James moved into his new house last night. It was like a camping trip. They got everything sort of settled, right?
To a fashion, yes.
How good does that feel now to have a 2-story, beautiful house?
Well, I got to say the crew put on a Herculean effort since last weekend to get it from where it was then to livable status this weekend. So just, shout out to them. I don't even know if they watch the podcast, but I'm very grateful for the good work that they've done.
I'm so looking forward to seeing the great model railroad that you are about to build in your new basement.
Oh, yes. With all the junk that's down there right now, it'll be a little bit.
That's exciting. I want to give a shout out to Vic Smith. Last week on the show, Holly talked about bringing the youth into the hobby, and what she found mesmerizing about your layout, Vic, was the fact that you modeled the real world. You modeled that inner city type of a look, and you absolutely nail it with the beat up cars, the police cars, the crime, what's going on in them hotel windows, da-da-da-da-da. And so I look forward to, if we can have an open invite, I'd like to bring Holly up and share your layout with her so I get some great B-roll. Vic, give me a shout this week. I'm looking forward to that.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how and where those Clydesdales show up, because I gave him a set of those.
Oh, he'll do them justice.
And I left a surprise for him on the layout too. One of those smokers that I printed the other week.
I saw that.
Did you see the Beatles showed up on his layout?
Yeah, the Beatles.
Abbey Road, crossing the road.
Right?
Yeah, very cool. And Mike and I took the VW bus.
And I will say, thank
drove
God
it
Joshua
down.
was not driving his VW bus, because that would have been it for the Beatles.
But here I think we might be able to muster some footage of us driving it down there on his layout.
I've got it.
I got a picture of us getting gas at the gas station,
Yeah.
and then we stopped at the diner for lunch. So, it was really a great little trip that we had.
That's
man.
absolutely awesome.
That was
We were going
fun.
to shoot a show last night, and we were unable to do it because all of us had a lot of different things going on in life last night. So Saturday last night was the very first time in 195 shows that we actually didn't record a show, and I was not pressured. I was totally calm. Don't know why. But Oak Hill Model Railroad Track Supply, Jeff Otto was going to be on with us on Skype, and that also didn't work out at the last minute. So we look forward, Jeff, to having you on a future show to talk about the amazing products that you do make. And in fact, I've got one of your templates right here in front of me. And this is a template for making a number 8 code 83 and 70 switch. And this is just an example of what you can find on his website. He's got all new products going on. He's creating a whole new array of track products so that we can start modeling track like it's never been able to be modeled before. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not giving up microengineering on my main line because that stuff is beautiful. But when it comes to the track hardware and certain turnouts, he's nailing it with the frogs and all these different variables to prototype.
These custom ones that he's doing, he throws them out on Facebook all the time. And they're the most magnificent things.
Yeah,
that,
right.
you know,
look very realistic.
Complex curves crossing
extremely.
each other.
You know, that I've always wanted to model the downtown, but I couldn't do it because all the tracks interchange.
Right.
With his ideas and his standards, that could be done.
Yeah.
It would be quite the journey.
Yeah, and that's the neat thing about what he's doing. He's doing these small custom projects that
Right.
can really get you what you need for the layout that you're
Absolutely.
looking to make. That's the problem with a lot of the bigger manufacturers is there's no economical way to do it on a larger scale because how much of a market do you have for each little specialized thing?
Absolutely.
So we look forward to having Jeff on the show in a future show. In fact, I like you sitting here in one of the chairs, Jeff. But the fact is, check it out, ohrtracksupply.com. There's an array of products, and we look forward to what you've got coming up next. I don't have this in show notes, but I'm going to give a shout out anyway. Lombard Hobbies in Lombard, Illinois sponsors the What's Neat show that I produce for Model Road Hobbies magazine. And I do want to say that Alex Kovac is their new sales and media director for the store. I mean, this is a very organized operation. Andrew, you really have got an amazing place, and I still can't wait to get up there and visit with you. Thank you so much for the FP45 in Santa Fe. They sent it to me, and they did not send me a bill. And I love
Kodachrome there,
I love that Kodachrome, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew, for that. You guys run a top-notch place. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to the guys because I don't have really a whole lot to talk about tonight. We're shooting for 20 minutes.
Okay.
Who wants it first?
Lombard's one of the places we visited when we took our...
Yeah,
You guys have been there?
Yeah,
Yes,
we went
yes.
there. We have pictures and everything.
Last
You wanna see
November.
some?
I do.
Yeah.
I would
They were
love to
right.
see that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we went in there. I found a couple. Oh, I found a book on DeSoto, Missouri when
In
we
Chicago.
went there. In Chicago. Can you believe that? After I found this book there, it's opened the door so much to my progress on my layout because now I have visualization of old pictures that I can throw in to know exactly how far away the station was from the theater and all this and that. It's very
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
opened my eyes. So yeah, there's all kinds of
Didn't
different stuff to get there.
I know,
so.
right? How many people model off of Google Earth now to get dimensions
yeah.
correct?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? I built courtroom models with BNSF railroad attorneys, whereas Google Earth was priceless because I didn't actually have to measure every detail anymore. I would just get a 40 or 55 foot
Yeah.
container from on
Yeah.
top, know my
Right.
math, and work the math across
Yeah.
the spectrum of the entire model because my accuracy rate had to be within 2%. And what a challenge it was, but how energetic it is when you've got all the answers. Because once you've got the answers to a modeling project, it seems like, and tell me if I'm wrong in readers' comments, it seems like when you build a model, you got to do it in your head the first time first, and then you can do it with your fingers. And that's something that I found to be very true.
Right.
Another thing I used to always say a long time ago was, every single model is 10 mistakes fixed.
Absolutely.
That's how the
Yep.
final product comes out perfect.
You know, Google Earth is how a lot of estimates are done now for lawn care or roofing jobs or
taking the
something. They
square
just pull
footage.
your
Oh,
house
yeah.
up on Google. You know, they use a certain scale and they
Well,
just
it's-
figure it out right there.
And why
As a
weren't-
matter of fact, like we were wanting to put solar on our house, you know, because we'll have a larger roof
Really?
footprint than we did before, and so we've been thinking about that. Google Earth was not helpful in this instance
Oh, yeah.
because
it
it did
takes
not
time,
take our
right.
new roof line into account, and so they designed it for our old one, you know. So,
Three-
but it's
3 to 6
it's amazing
months
how
for
that
Google
works.
to catch
Yeah.
up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Right. There have been shots on Google Earth where I literally saw myself doing photo shoots in the backyard, and I remember what projects I used to be shooting back then.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Although the other neat thing is that Google Street View, and I've noticed
Yes.
that
Oh yeah.
on our street, if you go down the street, it was taken probably about 2010, just
Okay.
before we moved in. And there's a house on the end of the street that did a similar remodeling project to what we did.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like you're on a time warp. You go down Virgin and you look at that house. It's a one-story ranch-style house, but you go by it on Weil. It's a two-story house.
I drive
It's
by
like-
on
yeah,
Wow all
it's-
the time.
yeah.
And now I can pick out your house just
Yeah.
like that. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
It's 2-story.
yeah.
That's awesome. Mike, you brought cars tonight, brother. What did you bring to talk
Oh,
about
look at
tonight?
those. They're
How was last
Fords.
week's presentation? 17 photographs
Yeah,
of all
good,
the
man.
Chrysler products. And did you
Right.
hear what Holly said? She's like, Ken, we're going to be building some cars.
Right.
I thought that just juiced me. That
Yeah,
was
she-
awesome.
Had
Yeah.
relatives at the Chrysler plant or
She
something?
worked there herself.
Oh, okay.
She
Nice.
did. That's
Those,
pretty amazing.
were they Challengers or
Oh,
Chargers?
they
that the
built
windows in
lot
the
out
back?
there. Yeah.
Those that you had last
Yes,
week, those
yes,
were awesome. The two
Chargers,
different
right.
versions that
Yeah.
Ken showed the
Good
picture
coverage.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
I love
Well,
putting together a good show.
I hardly ever talk about Fords, so I didn't know what to talk about either tonight. So I thought, wow, Mustangs. I've never done those. So I got a whole bunch of first generation Mustangs here, and the various models that have been available over the years. I know that I'm missing some. Like I think Viking did one, and I don't have that.
Right.
But these first three up here are old Bush models. That was the first car that I remember, the first model of a realistic looking Mustang.
Yeah.
And those first two are versions of a friend of mine, Rick, in high school. He had a daily driver like that, and you know, in the summer we put the top down, and you know, I got a lot of good memories of having fun in that car.
Wow.
And then they also did a hardtop version of it. Bush did a hardtop version of the
red car,
64,
okay.
65
Yeah.
Mustang, yeah. Then the first fastback model that anybody did was a metal company called NJ International. I think that was the name, and it was NJ or NJH maybe. I'm sorry, I can't even remember, but it's pretty decent for an attempt without 3D scanning and everything. A couple of proportions are off, but that was the only thing going for a while until Bub models came out with a really nice 65 Mustang
Nice.
fastback, and it's pretty cool how closely, you know, how and they compare to each other. You know, you can just see a few errors in proportion on that one. But then the next three are improvements to the Walters 68 Mustang that they issued when they had their auto
Right.
factory.
The
and all
automotive
that
stuff.
Right.
I did all the
yeah.
photography
Yeah,
for that
yeah.
entire product
Yeah.
line. How
But,
fun that was.
Peter Rings of Germany, he took one of those and he really cleaned it up and made a nice casting of it. So I made one that looked like the car from Bullitt, Steve McQueen's
Nice.
The black one.
Mustang.
It's
yeah,
a black
dark-
one,
dark
3D
green.
printed, or is
No,
it cast?
this is these are all 3 resin casts from
Okay.
the a body that I got from Peter Riggs from RPM 87 or 87 RPM.
Okay.
So,
nice.
but I think just about most of the models nowadays are 3D printed.
Yeah.
So anyway, then next couple are 69 Mustang that first came out in the late 90s by Monogram Mini Exacts.
That looks good in real sunlight right now on
And
the
then-
screen. How about
Oh,
that?
yeah.
And then then Concord reissued it. I think that's a Concord version. But these are the original issues on this auto rack. I stripped them all down and painted them all different colors. You did that too for an auto
Long
rack. I
time
remember
ago.
that.
Oh my gosh, I was in Rail Model Journal back in
Yeah.
1988,
Yeah,
89, 88. It had to be early. I had just met Paul back then.
right.
And I did that brass Overland auto rack
Mhm.
with those Mustangs in them, and those were monogram.
Yeah,
We would go
they
to
were
Toys R
monogram.
Us and
Right,
KB Hobby
right.
and load up on those monogram cars
Yeah.
because that was the first time in HO scale, just shy of Matchbox and Hot Wheels and Johnny Lightning,
those were the-
where they were
right.
1/64 scale models.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these
But
were
we finally,
just
right.
57 Chevy.
That was liberating.
A Pontiac Grand Prix, and there were some pretty decent American cars, and they were nice looking too and cheap.
I hope I'm not looking for the slides because, as I recall, I took the metal frames off the bottom of all
Yeah,
the
to
cars.
reduce the weight.
I used silicone to glue the wheels back on
Mm-hmm.
to reduce the weight because a brass Overland auto rack open already weighed a lot. It was
Yeah.
metal. It was all brass.
You know, the heavier. I've got some of these auto racks with die-cast cars,
Right.
and they weigh 13 or 14 ounces, and
Wow.
they just track so smooth. There's
Oh,
not
yeah.
one bit
I
of
bet.
wobble or
Now, you
anything.
don't want to have lighter cars between the
Right,
locomotive and
they're right
auto
behind the
rack, though.
locomotive,
Yes.
definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, this
But
is
what he's not telling you is there's 20 of them right behind him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this rack also is an example of Southern Pacific's early attempts at side screening to reduce the vandalism on
Right.
auto racks, and this is a Paragon rack, which is the same thing as the AccuRail kit and now the new Walters kit, and
And that's
Yeah,
Plano. Plano screening
No.
on the side? No?
Plano was the one that was what I used for the Canadian Pacific Black.
'Cause
but
those were
this
accurate.
is Scale Scenics
Okay.
micro mesh.
So
okay.
around what year did they start throwing that on?
1969 was the
And-
first earliest.
And then how far
Well,
completely enclosed ones started?
Well, they
showing up?
overlapped. I mean, these were used up until probably 1980.
Yeah,
Really?
I can remember seeing some open top, like with the screens on
Right.
the sides.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
And those screens
Don't
weren't
remember.
screens. On those Canadian Pacific, that was loose material. It was like a plastic.
Like
Really?
construction fencing.
Fencing.
Only it was black.
Let me show three
Plastic.
photographs right now of
Yeah.
a Canadian Pacific going through Kingman, Arizona in the desert. And I saw 3 of those and I wanted to build them. And in fact, you're not going to be able to see it, but on the shelf up here, I started one of those when we started getting those Walmart
Yeah.
vehicles. What were
Yes.
those cars called? We were,
Those vans.
right?
Fresh cherries and real rides. And,
So here was my attempt that I needed to then screen over with the plastic screen,
Right.
and then it was Plano.
Yeah.
And I've never finished the project.
Give you
But
something to
I
do
know
this week.
what. I know, right? And how much does
All
that weigh?
loaded with dimmers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we don't have a cameraman tonight.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to do a lot
Memory
of
lane. You
shots.
guys are bringing
Yeah,
out some
I'll have to
memories
do
on
that.
this show.
That's
Yeah.
why
Do
we're
that
here.
later on, yeah.
But it's so amazing how cars tie in with trains. And we
Yeah.
can all relate to cars.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The last 2 Mustangs I want to show are these. These were fresh cherries, also the cheap cars you got at Walmart, and it's a really pretty nice, decent model of a 71 through 73 Mustang, and after 73 they went to the downsized 74 models where they were a lot shorter
Right.
and everything. So it's pretty. I don't have too many Mustang models after that. I've got the Concord like 78 and 79. I have enough of those to do an auto rack, and that is more my era. I just built this just because I wanted to do it,
There you go.
So,
Before we go to Joshua, I want to give a quick shout out to Spring Creek Model Trains out in Deshler, Nebraska.
That's where I got this shirt.
Yeah.
Is that
oh,
right?
that's right, yeah.
Dave, Deb, Jeff, and Mike Zucker, we love you guys.
Today's
I've
Mike's
got my
birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Mike.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I've got my 4014 up here on the shelf that came through St. Louis this past summer, but what I don't have are my 2 water tenders. I ordered them about a year ago, and they finally came in from scaletrains.com, and you guys have got them. Thank you for holding them for me. I will remit the proceeds to you after I do this show tonight. But in fact, I just want to give a shout out to you guys, because the fact is you didn't forget me on that order. You called me up, you told me about it. Your customer service is second to none, and your website's amazing. I went over it this week, like looking at a couple other things that I might be wanting to toy around with, maybe picking up. But the website's amazing, and it's so detailed. And that's something that you guys were just getting started when we came out there, me and Mike, and did that show that you had about 3 or 4 years ago out there in Deshler,
Yeah.
where you were having to drive 30 minutes from the hotel to where y'all were. But I mean, it was God's country. It was so beautiful out there. The wind turbines,
Yeah.
all the different apparatus for watering the fields out there, which I know Dave knows a lot about. In fact, we learned a lot about it on the trip.
Yeah.
But it's a family operation, a family company. Check it out, Spring Creek's Model Trains. You can find them on the internet. Just a great bunch of people. I love you guys, and I just wanted to give a shout out. I felt like I wanted to.
I want to add to that, those scale trains tenders are amazing.
Are
I
they?
love my set. And they're coming out with an all silver set too.
Is that right?
And those are very appealing to the eye as well. But yeah, they just run great behind my big boy.
Joshua Sugarfire, what have you been working on lately, brother? I see a roundhouse here.
I
set
do.
up.
So I have a 18 stall roundhouse that I'm getting ready to put into the layout.
Okay.
I want to automate the doors. I want to be able to flip a switch when I'm standing behind the bar, and I want to make the individual doors for one of the stalls that I'm going to run the train out of
Yeah.
to open. So I have a couple different mechanisms that I've been toying with. What I think I'm going to go with is it's Barrett Hills Shop, I believe is the name of the company.
Okay.
And they have these really nice toggle cup switches. And
Oh,
when I
okay.
press it, it'll be red when the doors close. When I press it, it'll turn green. And
Oh, nice.
it'll make this little 9-gram servo. I'm sorry, everything's taped up right now. I don't want to glue anything down until I have an exact precise
Right,
measurement
right.
of everything. So the mechanism will be at the top here, and of course the roost will be on it. And I'll have these 2 little bars here that'll be on the mechanism, and will slowly, as the mechanism turn, push these doors open.
So that's a servo.
It is
Okay.
all it is a 9-gram servo.
Okay.
So it's pretty much the same apparatus that you would use to move
Nice.
a switch back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it and moving it up, and it's going to go out and in.
Okay.
So what I'll get are they're for ailerons of model railroad planes, or
Model airplanes.
of
Yeah.
radio control
RC planes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And what they do is they glue onto the one side of the wing, and then has a
Like a
wire, and
tube.
that wire will go back and forth
Right.
and
Yeah.
move that up and down. And
Right.
that's the same mechanism that I'm going to use with the doors.
Yeah, I use those servos to make a animated grade crossing.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how you would do
Yeah,
the
and all
same
that,
thing.
yeah.
I'm just turning mine, and I have 2 together that will open them together and then close them together.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
neat.
that's my project that I'm starting to do. It's massive.
Sounds like fun.
I'm gonna talk Mike into coming over once a week to help me for
Yeah.
the
remember when I-
foreseeable future.
I remember this roundhouse from Fowler that had doors that would open and close with the approach of a locomotive or
Really?
with locomotive departing, and it was some kind of pressure system
Right.
in the track
Weight
that,
on the track.
that would
Yeah.
open and close those doors.
Yeah.
That's
So,
a good idea.
Not quite the automated system that you're looking for. But
I've seen
was
something like
impressive to
this, but it
watch.
was set up differently because it was on the old style of Walther's kit, so there was less maneuverability, or and there was less.
Yeah.
Why are you smiling? Because you've done this before. You've
The-
done this before, and
the
you
one
didn't
thing I-
tell me before.
Well, I was a
now?
little bit into RC cars at one time.
There's
So-
the one thing I'd suggest with the doors is to use is to use a metal rod instead of the plastic on the ends,
Okay.
just to make it a little bit less brittle.
That's exactly
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Metal
going to do
hinges.
is hollow those out with a drill so I can have something more.
It's the creativity that's all the fun
But,
of it
yeah.
when you get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Wonderland layout in Germany. Look at all the animation on that
yeah.
layout.
Man.
This isn't out of the box kits.
No.
This is ingenuity. These
Yeah.
are people that sit there and do it in their head once, and then they can do it with their hands.
Yep.
And it's a good way to model.
And thinking of this kind of mechanicalism, you can use this 20,000 different ways on your layout.
True that.
You know, those little chickens that are pecking, all those are little magnets. You know,
Yeah.
we went to the Iron Spike in Washington, Missouri,
yeah, we did.
and they have a racetrack that the cars actually move around on.
Okay.
And what it is little magnets, and there's magnets on the car. So as the magnets go around on the thing, they're dragging the cars with them.
Perfect.
That's like the on the layout in the What's Neat video from this month.
the N-track layout that we
N-track
did out
layout.
there. They have the same deal. Racetrack,
Oh, that's
magnets.
that's the Faller car
I
system.
think the guy actually scratch built it
It's really-
underneath the
yeah.
table. That's running in a video coming out. In fact,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
remember what month right now.
This
I don't
month.
have notes.
It's coming out here in a couple days.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
give a shout out to GNL Robotics. Thank you, Greg Summerlin, for helping us set up that Viper printer that I used to make the June video. It was really kind of you to get on Skype, but your customer service is second to none, and I actually needed it. Thank you very much. But once I got the thing figured out, I've been doing all kinds of things. I even learned how to thread the filament into it this week.
Nice.
I've been reading the instructions. If you actually sit down and focus, they're pretty easy to operate.
Yeah.
And it was a blast making that video for June's video. But now I've heard that they've got machines that are Wi-Fi, similar to my printer, where I can print something off my phone or my computer that I've got in the STL file and send it to the printer on the other side. How great would that be for a classroom environment where the students are designing stuff and then they send their stuff to the printers? You can find those printers on our website at gnlroboticsusa.com. There's an amazing array now because he's increased the amount of product that he's got on that website. And I actually wasn't going to talk about that tonight. I was going to save it for next week because we do have some more stuff to talk about. And I see you've got something 3D printed right here on the table, James. What is that?
Well, as a matter of fact, that's a resin funnel
Okay.
that I designed specifically to fit the Soraya bottles that so that I can drain the resin vat from my printer through these filters here. These are the same filters that you'd use to filter paint that you're pouring back
Talking
into
about
the...
that once. Can I touch
Right.
it? Check it out.
Wow.
So, and the idea is that you drain the resin, and then you can scrape away any artifacts on the bottom of that resin vat that were left from a previous print. In this case, I noticed last time I tried to print on the Anycubic Photon X here, that it failed to print.
Okay.
And when it fails to print, it'll often leave artifacts on the bottom of that vat, which ruin the leveling and all that sort of thing. Or it could be that over time the leveling goes off a little bit. So you use one of these to drain the resin back into the bottle and catch any printed remnants as it's pouring in.
That way you got fresh stuff next
So
time.
that you got a
Yeah.
fresh, clean vat, you can redo your level and be good to go again.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
Where do you want to go after that, James? You got 2 locomotives on the table, and we're at 26 minutes.
I just brought the locomotives for fun.
Is that right?
We're
Because you're
talking
going to
about-
run them
let's
tonight?
We're talking about
Run 'em,
trains after all, right?
So you're going to run those in the layout, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you this throttle right here.
Yeah,
the
that's the
Hammerhead,
throttle,
my
yeah.
favorite, which is ergonomic and perfect. I like the smaller ones myself just because I just
Yeah.
like to just close my eyes and do this.
And you know, the nice thing
Let 'em
is
run.
moving back to my house, I've come back to my NCE system. And
Put the
that
radio
has
up in the
been
ceiling.
dormant for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
How about that?
I got one more thing before you close the show out. I want to give a shout
One more
out.
thing.
I got a shout out
Oh yeah.
to one of our viewers. Nelson Kane.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, it's May again in Memphis in May. And what's better than barbecue?
Barbecue.
Sugar fire.
Yeah.
And so he was at Memphis in May and he came by our booth, and unfortunately I'm here and not there.
Yeah.
He looked for me. He wanted a selfie. If you come this summer, I'll be around all summer.
That's awesome.
Love to get a selfie. You should come to the show if you have time to come to St. Louis. We'd love to have you.
I know.
But I wanted to give you a shout out. He's from here, I believe. He loves to have sugar fire when he's here. So Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for eating. And, I wanted to just give you a shout out and say thanks for watching.
This is the best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it sitting around me right here. Look forward to your readers' comments. Be sure to like and hit that bell. Subscribe on YouTube. Also check us out on Facebook at the What's Neat This Week Facebook page. There's a lot of information on there, and I know a lot of people make posts, and we're going to dedicate one show to just going over all the contributions that we get from that. I think that would be a fun project for Mike to take up.
Yeah.
And if you haven't booked your hotel for the national convention here in St. Louis, do so now.
That's
the
coming up.
RPM meet is right around the corner too. We would love to see you. We'd love to have you.
Back to back.
We want you to come to St. Louis. Come and enjoy our city as much as we do.
It's going to be a very, very busy month when that all happens.
I
A
did
lot of
want
work.
to mention I picked this car up and looked at the bottom of it. It was manufactured by DJH. Then it says made in England.
Is
But
that
that's
right?
the first 65.
It doesn't sound like it has an accent, does it?
Yeah, no, haven't heard it run yet. So anyway, it's kind of a hard piece to find. I bought those when they were brand new. So anyway,
Pretty
just wanted
cool.
to throw that in there.
Nice.
Sorry, sorry for interrupting.
No, you're never an interruption.
I love you guys. And so with that, everybody, let's go run some trains.
Yeah.
All right.
That was awesome.
Wow! It is Sunday. Why does it feel like Saturday?
It's
Yeah.
great.
Ready, set for a thumbnail shot. Ready? And we got it. Let camera one roll. What else is it going to do?
Yeah, what else? Turn it off. Camera one, turn it off.
All right.
Best hobby in the world, guys. Thank you.
Walk away with my
It's
mind.
hard to believe it's Sunday. Does it feel
Yeah.
like Sunday?
Oh, yeah, it totally feels like Sunday.
I know, and we're Stripe. She hasn't appeared on camera the whole time.
She
Denny
was
Yellsman is going to be
outside
so disappointed that Stripe
Yeah.
didn't appear.
I know, right?
I know, right?
He always
45
says,
seconds for B-roll.
he always spells it
I'll
strip.
take that.
Where's strip?
Where's Strip?
Didn't show up.
It's the strip show.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, guys. Good job, Mike. I'll shoot those cars and make you proud.
Yeah, I'll leave this auto rack here, I guess, if you want to shoot some pictures of that.
Wow.
Okay, I'm killing sound.
Well, I got my stair stepping in today, moving stuff from one basement into another.
Oh man, that's no fun. Yeah, shit, I'll bet.
I might have just lost sound. I might be picking up sound off those cameras for the show. I don't have a sound file.
Well,
What?
I don't have sound.
You didn't check we had sound in the first place?
No, I didn't check. We don't have it.
Oh dear.